24-year-old Josh Pasticcio, it started out as the kind of trip thousands enjoy every year. Players from his local football team in Cardiff went to Mallorca. After some drinks on their first night, they went to a club where it then became far from normal, as Josh says he was brutally attacked by a bouncer and spent 3 days in a coma. He now wants to warn people about the dangers of clubbing in Magaluf and has been telling Lucy Owen about his experience.
This one is the worst one.
Josh had only been in Mallorca for a few hours before this happened.
My cheekbone was fractured on the one side. My nose was fractured. And what you don't see in this photograph is that when my eyes were open, all the whites of my eyes were just black.
Josh was on holiday with lads from his football team, the Cardiff Locksmiths, and a few of their dads. On the night they arrived, Josh says they had 4 or 5 drinks and then went to a club on the Magaluf strip.
One of the boys then jumped on one of the other boys' back, sort of messing around. The bouncer pulled him off. I calmed the boys down, said, look, can't be doing that here, sort of thing. A drink got spilled, and I ended up being dragged out by the bouncer.
A few minutes later, Josh's friends came to find him. He was unconscious on the ground.
But there was already a big trail of blood sort of flowing down the pavement, so I knew it wasn't good. His face was covered in blood. I thought he was dead, to be honest, when I first seen him. Nobody that worked there wanted to help or sort of call an ambulance, which was clearly required.
Josh had emergency surgery for a bleed on the brain and 36 staples in his skull. Josh's dad, who was also on the trip, rushed to the hospital.
I've been told he was within an hour of losing his life. When they wheeled him out of emergency brain surgery, it was horrific.
The next day, Steve went to the police.
They gave me a crime number and they said we'd investigate.
But the family say that's the last they heard. Spanish police, the Guardia Civil, told us there was a drunken fight between 2 groups in the club and they were still fighting outside. They said officers checked CCTV camera footage and there was no evidence to arrest anyone. The Balearic government said Magaluf, like the rest of Mallorca and the Balearic Islands, is a safe destination to visit. They say they've introduced legislation to protect tourists and claim that since 2018, cases of serious injury in Magaluf have decreased by 90%. This is Tobias White Sansom, a 35-year-old father of 2 from Nottingham, who went on holiday to Magaluf just 3 weeks after Josh. On a night out with his nephew in the same area, his family say he was pinned down by security staff and then arrested. Toby spent 5 days in a coma. He died in hospital. An inquest has now opened in the UK into his death, and Toby and Josh's families are working together to raise awareness to protect tourists from what they believe are potential dangers.
There are a lot of similarities because the boy claims he was innocent and he was just trying to stop a fracas erupting. So there are some, but fortunately for him, he's here today to tell the tale, but my son's not.
I would say it's an extremely dangerous place. The bouncers, the size of them out there and the sheer power of them, if they want to hurt you out there, they will.
Josh